Yeah. All right, 7 PM, we'll open the Scituate Board of Health meeting, Scituate Town Hall, February 24th, 2014. I'll take a motion to accept the agenda.
Motion to accept the agenda?
For February 24th of 2014 for the Board of Health, I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, meeting is opened.
And you're here for 50 Country Way?
Yes.
Okay.
Give us just a minute. Don't even need a minute. A couple of seconds. We'll let Jennifer get seated.
Why did the one I not have the time? I was actually gonna make a suggestion. That's kind of a nice way to do it. We don't have to wait, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of at 7, and so we don't have that 5 or 10 minutes of dead time there.
Yeah.
But the one,
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Believe me, it's against my better judgment, it's not, this isn't me, but I have to.
I almost like it like this, so that we don't.
I know, I think I sent it like that to you guys, and this one didn't have the tobacco.
But only my suggestion.
This, I get my fair leave, sometimes it's really way,
I know, it seems like a long time. Well, that's fine with me.
Just saying.
All right, 7 PM. Jennifer, you're all set? We're
Yes.
good? Everybody's good? Public hearing, subdivision plan review application, 50 Country Way Trust, Greenbush Park. Greg Morse of Morse Engineering representing owner, 50 Country Way Trust.
Well, instead of Greg, we have Stephen Hassett, who's from Greg's firm, who's presenting it tonight.
And can I just ask for an overview? We're gonna be presented, but we're not looking at, are we looking for
Grab
approvals? Are we voting? Or
Yes, we are looking for an approval. This one is essentially pretty simple because it's on sewer.
Okay, but we are, I just didn't see, it kind of said review application. I
So
didn't
we're
know.
approving this before the planning board approves it?
We have to approve it, or the planning board can't approve it.
All right, so my name is Steve Hassett. I'm here on behalf of Morse Engineering. Our client's Chris Ford, and this is our property at 50 Country Way. So here's Morning Glories, here's the bridge over the railroad. And then here's our proposed road and our 2 lots.
And this is where that multifamily is, right here?
Yeah, this is
Okay.
the apartment.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that'll be come down.
okay.
Just so you know, because Greg told me this when he called to tell me Steve was coming. Basically, the purpose of this is to preserve zoning, because zoning will be up for changes at the town meeting. So by getting this approved, they will preserve the current zoning for, I think, a 7-year period. And that'll allow them some time to do some more planning and work and bring forward what they actually want to do.
Yeah, so we have an additional plan for apartments here, but, so like she said, there's a sewer stub here, so what we'll do is run that right up the middle of the street and tie in for both lots down here at the end.
I haven't seen,
Well, I guess the first question is this a subdivision? Okay,
Yes.
so can subdivisions tie into sewer?
This one has to, or it can't happen,
Well,
because,
yeah, but that's,
well, I mean, it's up to it's not us to say they can tie in, they can't tie in, but the only way this one could be built is the sewer, because they're proposing multifamily, they're too close to the reservoir, and they will be violating the 440 gallon per acre rule.
then why don't they need to go to the sewer commissioners then, before we look at this? Well, I don't think, then we're de facto approving the sewer hookup if we.
We're saying that if they can hook up to sewer, then this is an approved subdivision.
Okay.
I mean, we're not-
As long
Well,
as
health
that's,
standard.
as long as that's part of our.
They don't,
Yeah.
if they don't pay for a water meter, they don't get water.
No, okay, I just want to make sure that we are, that's stipulated, that we are not okaying the fact that they're hooking up. It's, if they are able to hook up, this can be done.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's about it.
Is there any drainage in this road? Is it,
We're gonna tie back into the drain down here, yeah.
there's no detention basins on site?
Nope, we have the catch basins down here at the end.
And you're gonna try to, you're going to the planning board next?
Thursday,
Yeah,
Thursday.
yeah.
And are you trying to, you know, sort of this 40R, you know, as opposed to 40B, like, so because you're near mass you know, you're near transportation? Or do you know? I mean,
I'm
it's
not sure.
It's not in our purview, I was just.
Yeah, I'm
No,
not
it's,
too
as
sure.
far as
about
it's not gonna be low income, it's gonna be middle income.
No, but that's not what, really the question, you know, at one point there was, you know, everybody's familiar with 40B because
Yeah.
there's some affordable, you know, units or
You have to
whatnot.
make each, right.
I was wondering if this project, the state also had sort of a category that if you were doing something that was near transportation, public transportation, you know, mass transit, if you will, you know, there was some different guidelines that once again, that's the planning board's purview. I was just curious.
Yeah, no.
You
As
know,
far as we're concerned,
Yeah, if it hooks into sewer, we don't need any perk tests, so there's nothing, there's no perks on any of the lots,
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
there's a provision there for some drainage, there's a provision there for handling the sewage.
Yeah, were perk tests done though? Were those done just for groundwater?
Just for groundwater, yeah. It was
Okay.
down 6 or 7 feet.
And this existing 6-inch suffices to feed whatever potentially could be
Well,
done?
they'll have to do the, you know, the hydrant tests and all those things,
Okay.
if and when.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the plans for how many units except what's hanging in Reynolds. How many units is the proposal?
For the other one,
For these, yeah, for both sides here, what is the proposal of the amount of units? Is it gonna be 3 buildings or 2 buildings?
that's the other plan. This is for the subdivision. Essentially, we submitted 2 plans.
Yeah.
This is to freeze the zoning. I'm not even sure how many units are going into the other one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions,
So
concerns?
there's no, I just, as long as we stipulate, if they are granted SOAR, this is, and I do want to make sure that we're sort of, you know, on record stating that.
Yeah, if it's not allowed to go on sewer, then they'd have to have the suitable perk test and
Okay.
meet their requirements within that reservoir areas.
Well, they would be limited at that point to 440 per gallon, or 40 per acre.
Per acre. Okay, is there a motion to accept the plan as presented, 50 Country Way?
The wheels are turning like.
No, I'll make a motion to accept the plan as presented with the stipulation that the plan is predicated upon the applicant obtaining the permission to tie into sewer.
I second it.
All those in favor? Aye.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
All right, well, those quick, we got a couple of minutes before our 7:20.
Did you guys get
Do you
everything
have that?
signed?
All the invoices have been signed, I believe, yeah? Any,
Did you guys happen to read the emails that she's been forwarding about the hearing, the acoustical for the wind turbine? Did you read the email that she's been forwarding?
Yeah, and if it's not on the
Yeah,
agenda,
we-
should we not even discuss it?
yeah, we made, yeah, we'll wait on that. We'll wait on that. Anything we should know about in town? Any new hoarding cases? Any luck with the septic system stuff down the beaches? Stanton Lane, that's right.
One lady came in, she wanted an extension, which was fine, I gave it to her. I answered Mr. Massey's letter. I haven't heard from him.
So everybody's pretty good, seems like, yeah.
I would like to see if we can get some feedback from the town administrator regarding a new health agent, director of health. No, and not just where the process stands, where
I
a
had
tentative,
reached-
a tentative timetable.
As chairman of the Board of Health, I have reached out to her, and I think she's gonna get back to me around the first of the month, so.
Okay, was that in writing, that you reached out?
I did an email, yeah.
Okay, yeah, just as long as we sort of we're on record as.
Yeah, well, I just said we want to be part of the process, and we look forward to whatever we can do as a board, hoping to have a nice smooth transition with especially your background knowledge of, how many years has it been? Almost, probably close to 30?
Well, about 27 here, and another 7 in Hull, and 2 before that in New York.
Yeah, but even just the 27 here in Scituate, knowing the restaurants, the contractors, just the people in general, and what's what, and the ins and outs, and I think it's invaluable knowledge that the next person that is going to step into your shoes, I hope gets to spend some time with you, that's all.
I'm open to that.
Yeah.
This, the end of this year, just like the end of last year, all the restaurants with 50 seats and under, have they all been put on notice, or is that?
That should be going out this week.
With the grease traps.
Last week, I had my budget meeting with the Board of Selectmen on Tuesday night and the advisory committee on Thursday night. So, none of them take votes at the time that they speak with us because they're waiting to see the results of the overall budgets before they take those votes. So, the recommendations will probably be coming forward at town meeting. Of course, they'll be probably both making their votes. The advisory committee is not televised, but of course the selectmen are, so you can always watch that to see how they vote on things.
Okay. When's town meeting coming up? Is that middle of March, late March?
April.
April. 1st of April. Late April? I'm way
I
off.
think it's the first Monday.
Yeah, all right, 1st of April. Yeah, that's what I mean, first week. I was thinking last week of March, first week of April. Yeah. Situate's usually one of the early ones.
It used to be even earlier. It used to be in March. A lot of my colleagues were just getting their budgets prepared when we were voting at the town meeting. I'm going, really?
Well, get it out of the way. We're a summer community. We can't be dealing with this stuff later in the year.
No, no.
Got other fish to fry, no pun intended.
Your daughter's a senior? Your daughter's a senior? What year is your daughter?
Pardon?
What year is your daughter?
What year?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Your daughter's
In school.
In school. I think mine know yours, that's why I was.
Oh, my daughter?
Yeah.
Senior.
Yeah, that's just it. And then mine.
You thought he left that window home. He's in another frame of mind at the moment.
Yeah.
Who? Huh? What?
It's all right, these things happen.
Okay, gee, I'm sorry, I only, 10 minutes. I just didn't know it was gonna be so long.
No, that's all right.
Is it the same?
Yeah, I would make a suggestion that we list them. Is there any way you can list them at,
Is the plan there?
5-minute increments or?
I didn't bring the plan with me.
Yeah, but I'm just.
Or no increments, and then at that point, you're not beholden to the time.
Well, the,
That's not.
there are some boards who choose to list everybody on the agenda at
At
one
the same
time,
time, yeah.
and that's, my opinion,
welcome
very
to.
unfair for making people wait, which is pretty much why I give people time and why I try to estimate
Mhm.
how much time, like, would there be some, I never know in subdivisions if somebody's gonna show up and have questions, which is basically why I leave a little bit more time than I might,
Right.
usually. But,
Our meetings have such a captive audience, usually pack them in here like
I'm
sardines.
I'm sure we have many more watching at home than are in our actual audience here
Okay,
tonight.
I thought-
You know, they can have popcorn and refreshments there.
There you go. Yeah, no, I hear where you're coming from. It's tough, but a little time, yeah, so that way someone can be here at 7:30, they know they're not gonna be, at least they're not gonna be late or miss it, so. All right, the clock on the wall, our official Scituate government time says 7:20, so we'll have the public hearing, amended subdivision plan, Colonel Mansfield Estates, Ross Engineering Company, representing Craig Hoffman, applicant/owner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome.
Craig Hoffman is the son, and the property is currently owned by Richard and Helen Hoffman, father and mother. It's at the very end of Colonel Mansfield Drive. This is the existing conditions plan. Father has the house here. The son's looking to build a house here. In order to put a house here, we're going to the planning board to ask to lay out a cul-de-sac to provide the legal frontage for the house here, and also provide frontage for the existing house over here. This is an old subdivision in the town, and we're adding a cul-de-sac to it, so that's why it's called an amended subdivision. And we did the perk test out here a few years ago, and the septic system is going in the lower left-hand corner of the site. The access to the proposed house in this location would be off the end of the proposed cul-de-sac, which will have a small hammerhead added to it for turning purposes. And the only thing the planning board is looking at is to approve the layout of the roadway to provide frontage here, and approve the design of that hammerhead.
What about storm drainage?
Storm drainage, there's wetlands here. This is a 100-foot buffer zone. Because some of the grading goes into it, under the stormwater bylaw, conservation would have jurisdiction over the stormwater. When we filed the amended subdivision application with the board, which you have a copy of, with the planning board, we asked for a waiver from the stormwater regulations, as well as the professional review fee, because this work will be reviewed by the Conservation Commission under a separate stormwater application to be submitted to them, in addition to the notice of intent application under the Wetlands Protection Act to do work within the buffer zone to the wetland.
Is this system, it looks like it's gonna be raised up, is it gonna be a pump system? Or
No.
is it gonna be gravity fed?
No, it's gonna be gravity,
Good.
yeah.
And the drainage here, there's no catch basins, there's no pipes or anything that are heading out?
No, there's two catch basins
Existing
in a
catch
storm
basins.
drain system.
Yeah.
It takes water from the driveway. The hammerhead is gonna be designed so it's super elevated to flow in this direction here and away from the catch basins. The only water would get in there maybe is a little piece here, and that's it, but the rest of it would be overland flow. This is part of the south swamp over here,
Mm-hmm.
so. And the land to the west here is owned by the town of Scituate. This is the Damon property up in here.
What'd you get for rates on the perk test? I didn't see.
We had 30 to 34 minutes an inch,
Okay, so
so it's.
nothing really significantly bad, but nothing that was.
No, it's being designed for a 40-minute rate, because you have to bump it up from
Round up.
34 to 40,
Round up, yeah.
so.
And that's good. How many bedroom house is it again?
We're gonna design it for 5. Probably be a 4-bedroom house, but he wanted to design it for 5.
Gotcha.
It's fairly straightforward for a subdivision. It's pretty simple.
Any questions?
I do not.
You have any questions? No one in the audience? Any questions? No questions? I'd,
Make a motion to accept the plans, Colonel Mansfield Estates,
The
as
amended,
is.
well, the amended,
The amended plans,
yep,
subdivision plan of Colonel Mansfield Estates.
second.
all those in favor? Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you ask me about my
Yeah,
daughter?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I've been seeing her name pop up for the last couple of years. My daughter just looking at them, like, one older and one younger. I try to make small
I'm in
talk.
my hearing aid.
No, I can't.
It's getting adjusted. You know why? It picks up more background noise than it does voices. If I was talking to him, I'd hear the noise in the background better than I can hear him.
Have you learned to read lips yet?
What you said? I called the old Duggan today. He didn't have his in.
Well, he can be very obvious. And usually those of us who know pick it up really quick if we're right there. We can go, Neil, this person wants to talk to you.
See, with Neil and I, it all hit us before we retired.
If there's no, new rule of business, I
Thank
would
you.
make a motion to adjourn.
You can go home now.
What?
Do we have any new rule of business?
Yes.
But that's the agenda that was sent to me, because that's why I said it. But this
I
is the
know,
official
I think-
agenda that was posted.
Oh, that's why. Okay, see,
Yeah.
The tobacco regs
oh,
fell
okay.
off or
Oh,
something.
you're gonna, okay, we're gonna vote on them. All right. Good.
Okay.
What everybody's been waiting for.
New business, I think we've discussed a couple of new business things. Is there any other new business that we have before?
I gave the okay on pre-operational inspection today for Tesoro. It is taking place with dog watch at the end of the harbor.
Oh,
Scituate.
everything look good?
Yeah,
Happy to hear new business is coming into town? That's good.
yeah.
Excellent. Wish them luck. Good start if they're in good accord with us, so.
They had a soft, well, they had a, I don't even know what you call it last night, invitation only taster, if you will. at the
Yep.
village.
It's called a private party.
Yeah.
As long as we know they're in compliance, that's a good start. All right, well, that's good news.
They're doing another tasting tonight, I think.
Yeah, and soft opening Wednesday, from what I
It's a Latin concept, but that's fine. Something new and different.
hear. Yeah. Other than just fine.
Yeah, well, good luck, good luck, good luck. Wish them luck. All right, old business, unless there was any other new business. Old business, proposed tobacco regulations. Been kicking around for a couple of months, been working.
October.
Since October. And once again, by looking at the audience, there isn't much on either side. What we're doing, doesn't seem to be an interest. I thought there would be more of an interest, but that's okay with me.
They will, once we change it, they will.
Yeah, well, we snuck it under the
Once-
under the radar, so.
Once we change it, they will.
Yeah. But the proposed regulations, we have them right here.
Just for the record, I know the regulations say this, but since this will be the point in time when they get approved, I would like you just to reiterate that how the electronic cigarettes are going to be treated, and to reaffirm the the permit fee that you've raised to $200.
Okay.
And then, one thing that you have discussed, but I don't believe you've reached a decision on yet to pass, is if you are interested in changing the age for purchase.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Well, I think one of the reasons was that we were waylaid a little bit was I know at one point I was on vacation down in Florida, or I think we had other members that were here and not here, and you were on vacation, so we didn't want to make any changes without a full complement, so to say. So here we all are now. And I think from getting the gist of all the meetings, I think the e-cigarettes, unless told otherwise, we were going to treat them as a tobacco product. And,
well, they
and
are.
not to be allowed in public places that cigarettes or cigars or anything else. And I think there was also a proposal to have that with other tobacco products. I guess you'd call it chewing tobacco or
Yeah, it's a,
smoke.
it's a nicotine delivery device, is
Right.
what they're calling it. And therefore, the regulations that proposed would treat it the same as cigarettes, as according to the, not allowed in the workplace, which would include restaurants and such, and would also be subject to the not for sale to minors under 18 unless the board changes the age tonight.
Well, that might be another quick topic too, because I think there was, when I read the meeting minutes, when I wasn't around, I think it was discussed at 21. I know I was open to that, so there might be some discussion on that as well tonight on the age limit.
Well, the thing is,
But right now, we were saying the e-cigarettes, so I think that we're all in agreement.
Yeah.
Treat them just like cigarettes are treated.
Right, now, do we have the language in there for the smokeless tobacco or chew or dip, however it's called, is that in there as well? I think that was,
I'm looking for it now.
and that would be something that would eliminate that type of
Yeah,
product
yeah,
in the
page
high
four-
schools and also at sporting events, which I think is
Page
a,
4, second to last paragraph.
which the more I think about it, it's a good thing, it keeps it,
yes, I mean, they define tobacco products, cigarettes, cigars, chewing tobacco, pipe tobacco, bit, snuff or tobacco in any of its forms. So where it's precluded.
so it's in there, it's just never enforced.
No, it's in our new
Well-
ones.
No, this is what we're proposing.
This is what we're proposing,
This is
okay.
what we're proposing, and it's in addition to other things.
Okay, so we're covering that.
Yeah.
So at sporting events and different things of that on the high school property, you shouldn't be,
Can't dip.
Can't dip.
Have a couple of chew, yeah.
shouldn't have it in a bar room.
Shouldn't have it in the bar room,
Right.
right. Cannot sit at the bar with an e-cigarette and blow it out.
Right.
Correct.
Right, or sit there with a cup and
And
spit into it.
absolutely, while other people are drinking their beverages.
Yeah. That's a mistake I wouldn't want to make, grabbing the wrong bottle.
Especially those brown bottle lines.
All right, so we're covered there, so that's good. Any other questions about that?
No.
We're all on the same page.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, how about the definition of minor, as we have it written here, any individual who is under the age of 18? I think in one of the meeting minutes, I did see discuss 21.
That's I'd like to go to.
We did, but I think you and I discussed it, we thought that might have been a little drastic at some point. Seeing how there's only one town.
Well, there's a
the
couple of
state
towns,
is-
there's Needham, there's Brookline, and there's actually, I think,
Canton.
there's 10 or 12 that have.
That are 19, right?
that- Well, no, that are proposed 21, and then there's a whole slew that goes down the. I mean, we've discussed it, my vote would be to go to 21.
Go to 21.
I think if the intent is to, we talked about the military and whatnot, I think that's just such a minority, there's a lot more.
I think we could also write in there too, and I think we talked about this, if we went to 21, or 19 or 20, that if somebody had a valid active military license, by all means, that would work, if that was a concern. Or if you were a disabled veteran, you don't think that would work?
I think you're trying to qualify. I
I
think
think
that's just.
you're putting an undue burden on the retailers. They have hard enough time with the driver's license.
Yeah, all right. All right, well, I'm just looking at the side that, and you're right, though, it's so few, but, I don't know, you live in such a politically correct world, you know. I see a lot of other things in town that never get used, and there's a law for it, you know? And,
I mean, that's my proposal, is to go to 21. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you guys can either,
I'd be for 19, I don't know about 21 right off the bat.
yeah, I know it, and I'm kind of on the same page, because I think 19, it just gets it above the high school limit. 21,
There's a lot of responsible 19, 20 years old, 20 and a half year old that smoke, that have full-time jobs, that they can make their own decisions. I think the reason we're really trying to do this is to get the 12, 13, 14-year-olds not to start smoking, to have the upperclassmen go and buy it for them, which at 19 I think will deter it to a point. To a point. I think there's a lot of 20-year-olds that are probably responsible enough to make their own decisions, that to force them to go to Norwell or Cohasset may infuriate a lot of store owners.
yeah, that shouldn't be an argument, though, because the business end is not our concern.
Okay, all right.
Um,
Well, then back
You
to.
know, I did see that in one of the propaganda things we got mailed.
Oh, yeah,
That went right out of my
I didn't even-
thought process
yeah, I
that,
didn't-
you know,
So in that respect, you know, 19, it will deter some of the younger ones. I don't know, 21 is fairly drastic, but, you know, I could probably be persuaded. I just, what are you feeling, Russell?
I'm on the fence.
This is a big decision.
Yeah, I'm on the fence.
This is a very big decision.
I will say, though, 21, you're not gonna have a minor going into a liquor store to buy a pack of cigarettes, because it shouldn't be in there
They should be in there.
anyways, you know? But now that puts the liquor store at 21 for all customers, which isn't a bad thing either, you know?
How many permits do we have in the town now?
I think we have 13,
And CVS is going to be gone.
yes. So that will be decreasing by one.
And if we did go to 21 and saw a backlash from that, it would be a public hearing to hear the reasons why we either did good or we did bad, and it could be changed within a hearing.
It could be repealed.
well, not repealed, if we could change it.
We could change it.
Our decision, I don't think, would be repealed. We would
We would vote to
based
change
on new information or new input, we could vote to change it.
I tell you, some conversation I've had with people, I was talking about this earlier tonight, a lot of people that smoke today wish somebody had said something to them when they were younger, when they got hooked, because it's impossible for them to quit now. And they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and they say, man, I wish somebody sat down with me. Or I didn't start as a kid, you know? However, they did start, and
It's so bad for you. I just, not to get a little bit off subject, but I just went to a memorial for a 54-year-old on Saturday. She was a heavy smoker for a long time. And that, I don't know if that was the cause of the cancer, but I'm sure it might have been a contributing factor along the way.
I think we've all got stories like that, I'm
So,
sure.
How you feeling, Russell?
You know, something, I think with what you guys were talking earlier, I say put it right on the line and go to 21.
All right. You can certainly make a statement in the local area, that's for sure.
Do we need to make a motion on that one item,
Yes, you do.
so we're in agreement? So,
Yep. I make a motion that we define a minor as any individual who's under the age of 21.
is there a second on that? And second it for further discussion.
No, I second it. I second it.
Is there any other further discussion on that? I want to go right to vote. I think we discussed it pretty
I
good,
think
but
we've had
I'm gonna lay it out there and,
4 months of discussion of it.
all right, well, all those in favor? Aye,
Aye.
Aye.
that's unanimous. For the record. All right,
Now you need to go the rest of them.
yeah,
We forwarded, so each paragraph, is that?
so there's gonna be different sections in here too, where I see the 18 is gonna have to be changed. We'll have to do that. And I didn't really read through quick, but I just caught my eye on,
Yeah, I mean, we can.
yeah, you gotta go through it and,
We will change it
Yeah.
as, you know, this is the draft,
right,
and any changes you make will become the final copy.
yeah. Are there any other points that anybody wants to bring up, reading through this without going through it line by line?
No, I'm fairly adamant about the treating the e-cigarettes and into that is the same as cigarettes are. They should go outside where the smokers go in designated areas and do their thing. I'm fairly adamant about that.
The only thing I do want to make sure, we had a nice gentleman in here from Scituate Country Club, and I see this in section F with cigar sales regulated. And on the golf course, he has clientele where they sell, and he's a licensed tobacco distributor in Scituate, and he sells single cigars. And I think, Steve, you and I
But it was
addressed
a
it.
$2.50.
Right, he doesn't sell 250, so
Correct.
you remember he said they're not.
Right, the price is over there, but I'm just making sure we don't,
alienate.
yeah, and I don't want to, because we were saying, no, we don't want to hurt your business. Your clientele, if they're going to have a cigar out in the golf course, is going to have a cigar. But I just want to make sure that the wording in here, if we vote on this, we don't go back on our word that we said to him.
We got the 250, that's what.
Well, I see the section shall not apply to, all right, so it's in there. The sale, distribution, of cigar having a retail price of $2.50 or more.
And we all know the intent of that was the dollar cigars that.
Now, we have
That are
a,
candy, that have cotton candy and bubble gum and.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Now, we do have a retailer that was concerned that they have 79-cent cigars, and when this becomes effective, I think they have stock on the shelves, and they need some time.
To deal with their distributors.
Yeah. And I think our intent here is the long term.
So give them 6 weeks or 2 months or something.
And they gotta be off the shelves.
Yeah,
I mean, that's, I don't wanna hurt
but, I mean.
somebody immediately financially like
Yeah,
that. I mean, the
I mean-
long term, our goal is long term.
Yeah, so I mean, you could vote these become effective June 1st or something, or whenever, you know, May 1st, June 1st, whatever.
Yeah, we should make it all effective at the same time, not piecemeal, just make.
Correct, and I would say May 1st is pretty good, because that's 2 months. I mean, we're basically, for whatever it's worth, we're March 1st right now. So that gives March and April, that's two solid months. I would suggest May 1st, unless there's further debate or discussion on that.
You're all right with
No,
that,
that's
Michael?
fine. No, that sounds good.
Sell and distribute one perhaps in Scituate. Free distribution and coupon redemption. We had some, did you guys read that on the email, the propaganda we got on the
Yeah, from the.
coupon stuff? Does that raise an
from
eyebrow to
the-
anybody? It doesn't, okay.
I honestly don't think, I don't,
Yeah, they want to sue New York City. Are you talking about that one?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they can.
With the coupons,
They can
I
sue.
don't think it's a big thing around here. New York City, I think it's a huge thing, but here, I don't think it's a major issue at all.
Hmm.
Maybe, you know, in more densely populated areas where they have it, where all those coupons and all that.
Well, it's a high-profile area. They're making a statement. They're gonna fight it out in a high-profile
Right.
venue, and that's their prerogative.
But I bet you if we went and polled some of the retailers, they, you know, the amount of coupon and.
Correct.
It's probably slim to none would be my guess. Mary?
I believe it's illegal in Massachusetts. to begin with, and it has been for years.
To have coupons anyways,
Right.
so it's a
that's-
moot point.
That's what I think. They used to be in magazines,
Yeah.
and not anymore.
Not anymore, no.
No.
Yeah, because Massachusetts almost has a minimum price on cigarettes, don't they? They can't go below a certain price?
I'm not sure about
In any
that.
of those
They just
issues,
keep
you-
slapping the taxes on.
Yeah, any
Yeah,
of those
but you
issues,
don't
whether it
see,
be
uh,
Costco or BJ's, those will get fought out at the federal, you know, at the New
Yeah.
York City level or wherever the headquarters is.
I thought there was a thing though, because sometimes you see, we sell at minimum, at state minimum, you know, there's,
Well, I can buy them at BJ's if I buy a carton, much cheaper than if I bought a carton in the Village Market or something. So I don't know why that is.
Okay, so
okay, and,
we do want to make sure then, we can add that effective, these regulations are effective, that, Michelle said, add that at the beginning?
oh, yeah, May 1st, yeah, May 1st, 2014.
Well, you haven't voted them yet.
What's that?
You haven't voted them yet.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a motion that the regulations that we have in front of us and that we're gonna vote on, we add at the beginning that these regulations are effective as of May 1st of 2014.
Second on that.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye. I have a question. I
Yep.
don't see in here, Jennifer, maybe you can answer this for me. We were going to propose not to allow, so if a cigar bar wanted to come into town, to stop that before they even applied for a license, that they weren't going to allow a cigar bar
Or a hookah bar.
a smoke shop or something.
Well, they can't, because under this work, you can't have smoking in the workplace.
Okay, I don't remember that coming up as that being issue-wide.
If you treat it as a cigarette, you can't smoke in the workplace. And if it's a cigar bar or a hookah bar, that's smoking in the workplace.
Yeah, but isn't there a thing if you, and I think I asked this, I was up in Boston, and maybe they were in before these laws came about, but
If
if
they were.
you can open up, if your revenue is 51% tobacco product, meaning that people are buying your cigars, they're buying your cigarettes, so you become a smoking establishment where it's almost, and I understand what you're saying, if it's a work environment, then our law already covers it. But would it hurt to put it in there as an extra to say that Situate's not gonna allow it because of secondhand smoke in the work environment and,
Well, you're already covered because of the,
But if you say we're covered by it for that, because of the workplace environment, then we don't need to add that to it. I thought we talked about that. Did we not?
oh yeah, we did.
Headed off at the pass, so it can't even be thought.
Yeah, even if it's double in there,
Right.
it covers us. If there's some backdoor way that, like I said, I remember being up in Boston and asking, how can you do this? And they said, well, we can do it because we sell over 51% of our product sold as tobacco products, so we're a smoking establishment.
The effective date was S, paragraph S, and it was just a fill-in for that before it gets signed, so we don't have to add it to the beginning, it's because it's at the end.
It's already at the end.
Okay.
oh, because he's got the wording.
does Scituate Pharmacy have a permit?
No.
CDS is doing away with them anyways.
Canada, correct.
Probably costing him too much money for the management of fines and training.
And bad PR.
Just what we'll do, because I'm not seeing, I know it's gotta be in here, because DJ said it was, but what we will say is, what we can say is all tobacco and nicotine delivery products will be subject to the no smoking in the workplace law. And I will get the
Yeah, as long as that law doesn't say,
the citation such that there shall be no,
We just want to deter it, so if somebody
so
gets,
there'll be no
you'll
worker subject to secondhand smoke. Worker or patron
yeah.
subject to secondhand smoke. I'll have to write that out for us.
Yeah, just to make sure we're double covered.
yes.
And kind of laughing on that one up in Boston because the smoke is just wafting down the sidewalk. Yeah, I'm not sure how that law read, but they are out there and people have been opening up hookah bars. I just wouldn't want to see one in Scituate. I think they're unhealthy all around. I said, I don't know how that law reads. I'm not an attorney. Never even played one on TV.
Okay, all tobacco and nicotine delivery products shall be subjected to no smoking in the workplace law. And then I will give the state citation, Mass General Law, section blah blah,
Right.
such that no employee nor patron shall be subject to secondhand smoke.
Thank you.
And that should cover it.
All non-residential roll your own machines are prohibited. Okay, so we're not going to allow that in any stores. I know there was one thing where we didn't want
They
to.
can sell the machine, but they can't have it rolled out as an operating thing to make cheap cigarettes.
I think one of the concerns was, though, that there was ones that were for public use. So if a minor acquired the tobacco, they could go in and have them rolled.
Yeah, for $1, stick $1 on the sheet.
Right.
To make cheap cigarettes.
Right.
But is that our intent? I mean, if a store had one and they had it behind the counter and they ID'd, we just, you don't want them.
They can sell the machine, but
Right.
they can't,
Operate the machine.
they can't operate.
Can't operate the machines for the public.
Right,
Yeah, these were big machines, though, I think.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the state did something with them when they started coming out, because I remember a story about them, but I'm not.
One of the other things I saw in here under Oh, unless anybody else has got anything else, or I guess we may have stuff coming up, but under violations, section O, 1A, it reads, in the case of first violation, a fine of $100. I'd almost like to change that to a fine of up to $100. And the reason why I say that is being on the board here, I think we had a violation of somebody that had been in business over 30 years, and it was their first time they ever had a problem. And we did not fine them. We had a pretty stern talk with them. And I thought that was the proper way to do. And I think it should be the board's discretion
Yep.
on a first violation to either slap the hand or to give the $100 fine. And I mean, if somebody's in business a month and we test and they get caught, they should probably get a $100 fine, just shooting from the hip. But again, if somebody's been in business 30 years in this town, I think it should be the board's choice to have that talk with them and not fine them. So,
I'm okay with that.
So if somebody's new and doesn't know better, they get fined, and if they've been here and know better, they
it's a
don't get
case-by-case,
fined?
it's a case-by-case situation, but I think my point is if somebody's been in business that long and never been caught, then they slipped or something happened. I think the board should have a little leeway on that for a first violation.
No, it's up to you.
Yeah. I mean, that's my own opinion.
No, I'm okay with that, because we have had some extenuating circumstances that between case by case.
A case by case, yeah. Yeah, and we've had repeat offenders that we've laid the hammer down pretty heavy on, and I can remember, which I think management has changed, so I'll leave the business nameless, but they were in here 3 or 4 times within 2 years. And we shut them down pretty heavily, and we fined them pretty heavily.
We fined them and we made them remove all product from the store.
And we shut them down during school vacation week. And so, I mean, I think I think this 3-member board, whoever is on the board, I think on that first violation should have that latitude if they want to or not. It's just my opinion, so.
So I'll make a motion that we do change O1A to up to, instead of a fine of, it's a fine up to.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody else, anything on this?
I'm looking at this last page, and it says the Scituate Board of Health will also be considering the following: the tobacco permit fee will increase to $200 a year.
Well, I want you to reaffirm that as a vote when you vote.
Yeah, we can reaffirm it, because I think we did that back in September or October. Yeah.
No, you said you did it in November,
Yeah.
but it was too late because we'd already sent the applications out.
Okay,
But just because the highlight right now is on tobacco as a product,
okay.
I just want us to reaffirm it now that we have.
So it's just a little housekeeping.
Yeah, that we have in fact also raised this, because in next year's budget, we do have money to do compliance checks.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to, well, I guess that's part of the whole package, but I guess it's something we've discussed, so.
Make a motion to raise the tobacco permit fee to $200 a year in the town of Scituate.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
As per Mass General Laws 111.
The whole thing, you mean?
Yeah, our whole enabling authority is cited here.
This one's for you, Steve.
Mass General Laws, Chapter
It's gonna be the most
111,
impressive
Section
motion yet. Go
31,
for it.
Board of Health may make municipal health regs, one of which is setting fees.
What do you want me to do?
No, it's just, no.
We just talking the fees.
Yeah,
Oh, that should have been part of the motion.
yeah, so
Okay.
we just, it's just amended as using that authority.
And we have to reference a CMR for all the regulations.
Not really, because it's already contained in there,
Okay.
so I think
Alright.
you're good.
Alright. So it's, make a motion based on including the changes we've made,
Mhm.
and then in total.
To make it effective May 1st?
Yep. So let's, I'm gonna make a motion that including the changes that we've made, that we've,
Discussed tonight.
that we discussed tonight and passed, we do adopt the regulations of the Scituate Board of Health for the restricting the sale of tobacco products and nicotine delivery products that are effective May 1st of 2014.
I second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That was unanimous. Thank you, guys.
Very productive.
Yeah.
You ready to go back to well regulations?
In due time, in due time.
Other business, administrative invoice approvals, we've done that. Our next meeting is Monday, March 10th, 2014. You guys are all on board for that? We're good? Awesome.
Do you guys have anything else you want me to clean up before I leave?
I'm being careful.
Gotcha. I think the things we discussed were the wells. We'd like to get that one done, and that's it.
Well,
Get the tobacco
provided,
regs done.
provided we can get a hold of Mr. Thompson,
Oh, the windmill, yes.
and I will try
Yes.
again, we can schedule that for the next meeting too.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So the next step in these changed regulations, a letter will go out from the Board of Health office saying that as of May 1st, these are the changes.
Do we actually have to publish a legal notice now?
In the
Say-
newspaper.
To say that they're
In the-
effective,
Okay.
and then we will post the new regs on our website.
Right. But each permit holder's not going to get a copy of the new regs, or you won't? You will.
Yeah, I think we can send those out too.
Now, in the March 10th meeting, these will be retyped, and then we sign them.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll be done.
Signed, sealed,
And
delivered once again.
Don't sing, please.
All right, so we're good? Well, any other questions? Any other concerns? No? We'll adjourn? Meeting adjourned?